Hello, everyone. Most of you guys have been asking how I go about my analysis and how I as well, go about picking positions, how I go about, just my strategy as a whole. So I decided to do a weekly review of, the trades I took, just so you can be able to understand how I'm able to approach the market and, how I end up staying patient in this market. So basically, all I do is just before I go about the positions I'll just literally say basically just from the daily time frame. I think either for the daily or 4 hour, it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. So basically, I just try to understand my bias. And when I say my bias, the truth about bias is that the thing about this market is you can be right about the trade, you can be, but you may be wrong about the direction. You can as well be right about the direction and be wrong about the trade. That's why I like to have a bias that helps me understand, what my long-term movements can be. It's almost like most times, most trades we are taking might just be short-term sales and all that. And when you're not aware of that, you end up setting unrealistic targets, in as much as I have a fixed target for myself, but there are most times when you see when you have the direction by your side, you can see how you can comfortably target more, and not just limit yourself to certain percentages, in as much as the trader, you should also have the specific fixed RR that you should be going for just to be able to protect yourself. So basically, all I do is this is a daily time frame, and you can see all I did was mark out the overall high, the overall low, just to give me an idea of where I'm currently located. And now we now have, we saw price taking out this side. It might just be a simple, break of this overall because we are still overall bullish from this side of price action after seeing a steady decline. And this break structure was the thing that brought up. Let me not use that word because I'm not fixated on using sports words like that. But we saw the break of this high, which literally brought in sellers, and that's how we began the decline. So overall, we can say that we are in an I can't say specifically, but we can, from looking at this way, we can see that we are still, moving to the upside. But alongside, just trying to look at the current price movement and all that. Now, this is not current actually. This was actually 2023, but you can see that we had we are just bullish all through, and we still have a steady decline, only for us to still, become bullish. But this was an all-time high for that current moment. That as soon as it was taken out, we saw how we began to see a decline. So it led us, we were able to see the break of this low, and this was the lowest point. So following up with structure, we now know that this is the lowest point currently, and this is the highest point. And now, being able to take our analysis, we can just tend to focus on the current moment. I always do that because as a day trader, I don't know, unless you're swinging, you can now tend to look at in full what we are trying to look out for. But basically, we can see that we had this steady impulse that led to the break, and this might just be a correction. Don't get it wrong. Most times it can also be an impulse to take the overall high, but I doubt. But at the end of the day, we are just trying to project because we do not know. Yeah, so we want to be able to assess the uncertain nature of the markets, just so we don't waste much time. So literally, we had this high, which was expecting to be taken out so we could begin to sell, but we saw that price never took it out. We left that gap there, which shows us that price might as well come back to take out that particular place in price. Looking at the current price movement, we can see how bullish we are. We had this correction, we have the impulse, this correction and impulse. This is just a correction. Maybe for us, that's an impulse. So, but the price might still do something dynamic, maybe taking out some people before we move to the upside, or price could still sell as well. The good thing about what I do is I try to keep an open mind. Like I can just, if I knew that price would buy, then why am I doing an analysis in the first place? Do you get me? So literally, what you see is due to this idea and knowing what price is literally doing, we now know that this is actually a correction. This is an impulse we are seeing. Now, basically, we are not saying the price might continue. Price might still, give us the sell and all that. But with this idea alone, we have understood that, this is exactly what we are looking out for. This is what price is doing in this current price movement. Then we can now move to our medium time frame just to have a clearer perspective of what structure is actually doing. So with this idea, we can see that, we saw how, now basically, before we go about what happened this week, but we can see that we saw the break of this side. After the break of this, we're expecting what? A pullback. So we don't know where the pullback will start, but we also have to keep an open mind. And that's why I think we saw how price bought from here. But not that this is the 1 hour. All I'm, it's just the same. I just mark out the structures, the break of the highs and expect a pullback if I see a scenario to sell. But if I don't see, I also align myself again with the market for a buy. But seeing what price did here, like breaking down this low, it was just shows that now we have to, and that's why I currently sold it. But back to, let me just go back to the 30 minutes. That's actually where I tend to look at price. The 1 hour is just to, mark out the breaks of the breaks I didn't see on the daily, because just to have a clear perspective of what the current market is doing. So coming into the daily, I had this I had this one. So with this break, I knew I was looking for, actually a pullback, which might actually I could get a sell, but I had to also keep an open mind. I could also get the buy. With that idea, we went to the 30 minutes. That's actually where I tend to look at my model play out and take my entries as well. So with this idea, I actually took a loss on a Monday. Now the simple idea is I trade what we call value areas. They are just, you can just call them highs or lows in the market, but these are places that we believe that there should be a certain bit of volume that should kick in the market. And I try to complement them. That's more like I try to use, what's it called, just an added confluence, which is using levels, because at the end of the day, the psychology behind these levels is a thing where at the end of the day, buyers and sellers will end up entering at round numbers. And it's the same thing with the market condition here. In the market condition, when I say the market condition, it could be when you go out to buy something. Basically people are going to be, looking to sell things at round numbers. Is known out there. People won't come out and say they want to buy something from 225 naira or 235. People always end up ending up to round numbers like 1.5, 1.1, 1.2. Yeah, most times 1 to 50, but it's also a bit rare. So that's why for me, basically I just have to choose, the round numbers. But basically I just make use of, just because I'm someone that I know that when you do less, you end up making more. So I just end up making use of just the 900, the 7, the 5, the 3, the 1. Yeah, these are just the ones I just make use of. When I said just 27, 900, 27, so, but that's about that. So basically, what was I looking out for? Basically, coming to this day, I was actually looking out for, as we broke this, I was looking out for a sell. But I won't say I was looking out for. All I have to, I didn't see any. I knew I was expecting a pullback, but I don't know that the sell would be, or could we as well realign again. But coming, we saw that okay, we were actually reacting, not actually from a level and all that. So I basically knew that we could actually continue buying. So with the idea, I had to mark out my value area, which basically marking out this value area I can take directly since it's very, very close to price. That's if I get an entry actually, most times if I don't get the entry, I could actually maybe check whether price wants to either use this point for us to continue buying. Yeah, basically, but I'm not actually here to really explain the concept as it is. I'm actually going to be opening new slots, and trust me, my mentorship program is actually going to be, it's just the one-on-one. Is actually going to be a one-on-one. It's going to be very, very affordable. It's going to be very, very affordable. It's going to be very, very affordable. And when I say very, very, it's going to be very, very affordable. So, but I'm going to be opening the slots by July, and trust me, I'll be accepting only just 5, just 5, because just means a whole lot of headache pushing people to profitability, and giving them a system of work done for my 2 and close to 3 years in trading. So basically, so this was, but basically, you might actually find a reason to say something, why certain trades I do not qualify another. But this was a very, very value trade. The only thing I could see was, how this candle closed, in as much as it's a bearish candle, but we didn't see a week. That week shows us the presence of, at least buyers in a way, but we didn't see that. And I think that's why we had a loss. But, that's losses are low. You always experience losses, but the good thing is that you have a proper logic towards your entry, towards your, your strategy, what you do, you understand what you're doing to a high point. So that was the loss for that day, and we ended up seeing price buying as well. So moving forward, we saw how price broke again, and that sell. And basically, I wasn't even looking out for a buy. Reason being that we saw how price was reacting from this level, and even if I was looking for a buy here, it would, I would have expected price to come to this level for us to get the end, but we never saw price do that, and literally we just saw price give us a continuation and fell. So basically, since price fell, I can now confirm that I think this at this point sellers are now there. all I was expecting was maybe for price to come back to this level. Let's say that we can continue selling. But I think the time this was already at night, and I actually look at the time by this time. So coming to the next day, I saw how we had this highway and we had this low, and basically, just my normal day, I would have entered the buy, but because I understand, I don't know, it's just based on experience and all that. I've understood how this market works in terms of this was actually a valid buy, but trust me to be a bit low probability because we didn't see any low be taken out of. Even if we saw, trust me, I just know that direction is very sure. Taking this buy might just be a short term something, which I'm not really. Once I understand that position is going to be short term, I just leave it and focus on the long time opportunity. So seeing this bullish movement, I loved how clean it is, because I know that at the end of the day, all these buyers will all be taken out. So seeing this candle, there's seeing this high being taken out and price again to this level, I was able to position myself for a sell. Now the way I enter is very simple. I basically just try to use, it depends if the candle ends with a bullish candle, let's say for a sell position, I just end up using the opening price to enter. Or let's say this candle was a bullish candle, I would have ended up using the opening price. But if this was a bearish candle that, let's say, had a wick on top and maybe closed around here or something, trust me, I would still want to be using here to enter, or I could just use the low of that candle. It just depends. So basically, I just make use of closing price or high or low. Just depends on the candle. Yeah, so that's like basically what I do to enter. And the thing is, if you end up focusing on the I won't say this is not even on the higher time frame, but you just trust me, less is more. Just this week, you can see how many positions we executed. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 positions in this week. So, but basically, this was actually position that we took, and I ended up taking a re-entry here just because I don't know. I felt like that price would continue. So this was it. This was the position literally. So moving down, at the end of the day, we had this low, This is a point where price could begin to buy from. But basically, there was no bullish intention. We just saw buyers coming, but no propagation. Even though we took out this low, but there was no propagation to continue buying. So we kept seeing this steady decline until price comes to this point. Trust me, you saw the point where price took out something and brought in buyers, early buyers, now taking them out. But usually I didn't get an entry here for a buy. I was expecting a buy here, but as soon as price broke out, I just stayed by the edit and said no. So, but seeing buyers coming again was actually massive. I actually felt a bit embarrassed, but trust me, that was not my trade. It wasn't my trade. But so seeing price break into this part of price, trust me, I focus on the current momentum to save you a whole lot of things. Focus on the current moment of price. Like try to understand what price is doing currently. As soon as it broke this high, we had this pullback. Seeing price fell this region alone. Now, this is not even a thing of approach or anything. Basic understand, we know that this is a support, resistance that became a support. In as much as it has not been really validated because we needed to see a low and a high, but mostly seeing this low is just enough for you to say, okay, let's wait for a pullback and continue. And that's what most times I just do it just and easy because most times price might not really come back, it might just keep continuing. So as soon as we saw it, all I had to do was wait for the pullback. As soon as this bearish candle came, I took my buy. Now trust me that this candle was ready. This was the opening of this candle, if you can see. So it's actually sold. Now at this point I've not been tagged in. So as soon as it came back, and this was when I actually got tagged in the buy. So for those that are thinking that this was actually price, putting me in a drawdown, no. So that was the other buy position I had. So that was the buy position I had. Then we had another position here. Now this one was crazy. Trust me, basically just like what you see here, I always use the opening price. But I don't know, it was just that bit of, I just knew, okay, what if price was going to come back again? And so I just felt like, okay, if price, now just what's the thing that happened? We saw price broke out, and this is a FOMO region. For most people, if you understand, this is a FOMO region. Are you getting this is a FOMO region? So at this point, I was even looking for sales, looking for price to just pull back and continue. But as soon as price broke in massively, it like gave me that volume. And trust me, this is also what's it called? This is a Q zone as well. Like Q zones at times when volatility kicking. So once I saw it was, I knew that I'm still right, because initially I was actually looking out for a buy around here, but seeing this massive, bearish closure, I began to like doubt whether we actually see that sell. So this is how I entered the buy, and this was a Friday. It was a very, very frustrating moment. And one thing, you experience frustrating moments in your trading as a whole. You always experience frustrating moments, but the good thing is that you just have to move on. Like If you overthink it, just me, you'll be putting yourself at risk. So this was how price took me out. The truth about this thing is, even as I saw the price took, I also took another entry here. But trust me, actually, my ties were it wasn't my normal 10 pips I used, and the reason being, I know it was an impulse. I won't even come here and act like I'm perfect. Or I also experience there are times when I'm also impulse and all that. But the good thing is, when I'm always aware, I'm conscious, and that's the good thing. So looking overall, we still see that the week it's just we still had five positions, very five solid positions, and you can see the logic I played here, just reading one pair. Trust me, if you could have a second pair, it's so nice. But I always suggest that people access and people should always look at just one, just to gain that clarity before you could add more pairs to your portfolio. Yeah, it just helps. But if you could carry a lot, it's fine. It just depends on you at the end of the day. It's your trading, not mine. So basically, look, coming into the next week, we would actually see price continue selling up, price, keep buying again. But basically, I won't lie, I feel like buys are more probable to happen. You get me? So now we have this low. All I might be expecting might just be price going back to take out this low, tapping into this level. Now, one secret you don't know is all my trades I take, I always taking them at levels. Just that's the little secret I'll be giving you in this video. So basically, I'll be looking out for this low to get taken out, and I'll see how we begin the position. We could also see price continue to sell otherwise. So you just want to keep an open mind. So that'll be all for that would be all. That would be all. So I just hope you guys picked up one to know or another, and I just wish you success in the coming week. Trading space is actually a very, very difficult one that requires commitment, dedication, and it just needs you to be all in, because at the end of the day, one of the biggest things is you also want to learn how to be. It just helps you, it makes you mentally stable to a very high degree, and because you experience pain, frustrates mom, just like what happened here. But the good thing is that you always learn to move on quickly. That's the very important. If you don't learn to move on quickly, trust me, this field won't be for you. So guys, have a nice weekend. I just hope you picked up one or two things from the video. Yeah.